My family's Puerto Rican. Hola! No.
Okay, what's up, guys? We have been getting a lot of questions about updates about our property and what's been going on because we were going to do this a while ago and just a lot has been happening and we kind of ran into some walls with things and switched in a total different direction than we were going to do. And so this is finally, we're at the point now where we can actually start creating the content to go with these videos. And we really wanted to make these videos to kind of bring you guys along this journey, to have these to watch back and to share with our family that lives in other states so they can be on this journey and kind of follow along with us. And so we're just grateful to that, and for anyone that even watches, and we just hope that you guys enjoy hanging out with us too.
Yeah, I think, that pretty much sums it up. I think for us, it's something we never thought we'd be in this situation. However many years ago when we moved down to Tennessee, it was a matter of, hey, what house are we going to buy? Where are we going to be? I don't think the idea of building a home really came across our minds. We've been fortunate enough to be in the living situation where we're at, with family, to be able to do what we're doing here, invest what we have invested here.
For people that don't know what we have.
Right. And so basically, this is something completely new for us as a family, and in general, us trying to start this channel again really was for records of ourselves and everything that you kind of touched base on. And if anything we post or anything that we do can benefit or help anybody that's going to be in our situation, if it helps one person, I think we've accomplished something. And I think that is our goal, with what we have going on here. And again, this is new. We didn't know anything about site prep, dirt work, about forestry mulching, about septic installations, propane installation, utilities, and all these different things of buying a piece of land. Everybody kind of, at least in our situation, it was set where you buy a piece of land and let's just build and let's just do this, and you get blueprints, which that's a whole nother thing in terms of your elevations on your blueprints of the rear, front, back, exterior, of everything you see on paper. But it's very easy to go on a marketplace and find homes for sale and go, this is one I want, this is one I don't want, and you don't really know what it took to get from start to finish, even with the simplest home. Mm-hmm. And I think for us, we've already gone through the beginning process one time, and now we're restarting. And I think there's already a couple things that we can do a little bit differently. And I think we should have started this a long time ago to really showcase everything that we've learned, even from the beginning to where we're at now. But I think we
kind of have some content.
Yeah.
But even for people that don't know, they don't even know, like, 2 years ago, a month after we got married, we bought 28 acres and then we split them into 3 different lots. So it's kind of weird because our main driveway to our main lot goes into 2 driveways, and then we also have a lot across the street that we own. So if you're totally clueless and have no idea, like this is your first time even hearing about this, it's 3 different lots basically that we're working with. And we initially had plans to build on our main lot, and my father-in-law was going to live in the back lot, and unfortunately he passed away. But now we're kind of transitioning everything that we had planned and going in another direction in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that. It's been such a reoccurring factor and topic of conversation for our lives over the past 2 years is, let's go to the property, let's see them doing this, let's see them doing that. And it's so exciting to see the simplest of things get done, whether it's a trench being dug for electricity, or like you see behind us, like dirt being pushed for a building site or equipment. The dirt work is one of the most satisfying things to watch, because in the beginning it looks so clean and so not in the beginning, but once it's done, it's so clean, and it just you see a very large improvement. Unfortunately,
they're my least favorite
it's not her favorite part, because you know how much money that cost. Like, you see 3 pieces of equipment that are sitting over there. I mean, technically right now on this property lot, there's 4 pieces of equipment. Minimum $125 to $150 an hour per piece of equipment.
But based off what we've already done, how much money have we spent in dirt work altogether?
I mean,
I'll show pictures of what this place looked like before, but compared to now, even from here to our main lot.
Oh! Fire! It's a big fire, huh?
What is it doing?
Fire.
It's a fire.
To the back lot.
Oh! We made it to the top of the hill.
This will be called
Pop-up.
To across the street. What are we at? Out of pocket. This is what we've done.
I mean, out of pocket, we're upwards of $225,000 just in dirt work, and that sounds like a lot of money. And then when you look at it, like, that doesn't make sense until you get to the back pad and you see the amount of dirt work that was done back there. Taking literally a hillside like this, cutting down into that pad and making a flat pad out of a hill that was like that.
Yeah.
Which, again...
And this was all wooded. Everything was wooded.
Yeah.
It didn't have a road.
And where we're standing right now, there used to be, like, just the natural elevation was like 15 feet up in the air that sloped down. So we bladed all this dirt off in the beginning, and then we got and shaped the yard that you see here, which we have a lot of footage of as well. But, you know, when you buy a piece of land and it's only a forest, we had to look to see, you number one, you had to have the vision, right? Like, when we first looked at it, we saw the vision of a clearing here, a road here, a clearing there. We saw what we could do, and then it was a matter of trying to make it a reality. And I think, you know, the dirt work was definitely the most expensive part right now. But if we didn't do that in the beginning, I don't think we would have done it down the line. So now we have all of our dirt work done. We have site preps. We have everything's rolled, compacted. Everything's ready to go. And obviously, we've done with this lot back here. We've done our concrete. We've prepped everything. And now it's time to transition over to this smaller home across the street.
Explain too why we initially, like we said, we were going to do the back for your dad, and that kind of changed everything. But we're going to do something for our business back there now. That's the goal back there. And then with our main lot, explain kind of why we're transitioning.
When we situated this initial build, we had our blueprint set out. We've funded so much out of pocket, whether that's currently we did what? We installed a water well, we installed underground electricity, we installed an underground propane tank, we did our septic system, we did all of our under slab plumbing, and we did our concrete slab, we did our concrete storm shelter, our garage apron, and everything is prepped and ready to go for framing. And then obviously from there we can do all the finish work on the exterior and then interior. We had to pivot due to the nature of our loan. Okay, so when you're building a structure like this, you're seeking a construction
This is good to know
loan.
if you're going to build a house.
This is probably one of the most vital pieces of information that we've discovered.
We were not told.
We started covering everything that we could out of pocket, whether it was 15 grand here or 8 grand here, whatever it was, we covered out of pocket. Well, when we finally approached the bank and said, this is the amount of funding that we need, they viewed our construction loan as a rescue construction loan because of the nature of what we have already done. They said, well, you've already began construction before seeking funding. So basically what they told us was the $100 and something thousand that we've already invested into our property was basically worthless because it didn't add value. Yes, we've made site improvements, we've done this, but it didn't really do any value towards the equity of our land because it was unfinished construction. So we would have been better off saving all of that as a down payment and securing more funding than we needed with that down payment. So with us being in the situation that we're in,
well, then the bank that we wanted to use.
One bank that we were sitting down discussing
for over a year.
Things were back and forth. We were letting them know, hey, this is where we're at. We're going to be seeking funding here. They then turned us down because we're an out-of-state client. Again, it's a family-owned bank. It's a smaller bank branch with a few branches out of a different state, which again, we're right on the border of Kentucky. So for us to get to this state is 45 minutes. So they tell us they can't issue loans to us because we're too far out of the area of service that they can provide for a construction or lending. So then what happens to us from there? The first bank scratched off. The next bank which we really were fond of because they viewed everything we did. They understood the importance of what we were doing and what we've invested. The only issue there was they required a general contractor to be on file to do all the payouts and to be the. And what I mean by payouts, they mean if she's the general contractor and I'm the homeowner, if I need windows for the home that she's building for us, she as the contractor either needs to cover those windows up front, or me personally, I need to cover those windows up front. Once the windows were purchased by an outside source, brought on site, you pay a fee to have an inspection for them to come out to inspect that you did get the windows that you said you got, and then a week later they sign off on it, and then a week later you get issued a check to reimburse you for the first part. Not for us, where we live, we deemed it fit to be our own general contractors, which we've done from start to finish, and we've got our own electricians, we've got our own plumbers, we've got our own framers, our own finish workers, our own concrete guy. I mean, you name it. And that was something that we've spent at least a year figuring out who we wanted to do what. We know the general contractors in the surrounding areas, and we know the subcontractors that they're going to use. We couldn't afford to sit down and pay somebody 10% for people that we wouldn't want on our job site, or people that we could easily call and personally know to say, hey, will you come do this for us?
Because there's maybe some women that have no idea kind of what you're saying. Like, okay, this is more his part. But if we got a general contractor, we would have to pay him 10% of every job.
Right. Yeah.
So if it was this price plus 10% for him for this, and then this and this, instead of going to the direct person yourself and just paying that flat fee.
Right. And it's in the terms are kind of confusing, especially like this. I know there's people out there that this is not confusing. They do this, they know this, but for us, this is brand new. So normally you would go to a home builder, and a home builder is going to say, this is how much it's going to cost, I'll build you your home. That home builder is a licensed general contractor, which means they're licensed to be able to do this. That general contractor is going to hire in subcontractors that do the plumbing, that do certain fields. I'm sure that general contractor might do a lot of their work on their own, depending on the contractor, but they're going to bring in subs. So basically, that's normally how it goes. You get your loan, the home builder goes in and builds your home, and they sub in all these different contractors. We took that different approach. We wanted to do everything from start to finish, and the reason being was like kind of what we just discussed. We've lived down here for 5 years now. We know a lot of people, we've met a lot of people, we've seen a lot of things, and with this starting to become an interest, we've heard a lot of valuable insight and seen a lot of stuff that, you know, the county we live in, there's not very many code requirements, meaning if I'm not even an electrician, I can go in and wire up a house, and if I don't know what I'm doing, that's, you know, the codes are very minimal, which is scary. Yeah. So we had to bring in subs from 45 minutes away that we hold to a high regard, because they hold their work to different standards. And I think for us, that was important. Like we're building a home that in anybody's situation, if you're building a home, this is all our family has got. We have one shot at making sure our investment is appropriate, that it holds the correct value for us, for our future, and that it builds and compounds from there. And when you sit down, a home builder is going to say, this is my fee, or you're going to get a general contractor that's going to say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost, and I make 10% on top of this fee right here.
Yeah.
If you're building a $300,000 house, that's $30,000. So technically speaking, you know, that's now a $330,000 house, or vice versa, however you look at it. For us, we weren't willing to pay somebody, and again, they're charging that fee because they're orchestrating everything from start to finish. You're going to do it for me.
The people we want to use.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Exactly. So I think,
which then brings us though why we're gonna do this over here.
Right. We couldn't secure with the parameters they had in place. We were not willing to. We just weren't willing to do that. So we re-hit the drawing boards, and our plan with this small lot over here, initially, right, was what? It was to build something smaller, something that down the line we could potentially turn into an Airbnb, have as a guest house. Things when family comes down, it's a guest house, something we could rent out as an Airbnb, and that's kind of been a large goal of ours. And
we want to get into that with businesses and everything. So it's perfect to have it right here on our own lot, and it's way smarter for us because we can build this, get out of this situation. We're not in a bad situation, but we've been living at my mom's house for a little long now, making all of this happen, saving the money to make this happen, that we're ready to be in our own home. And this just is the perfect opportunity to get this built, so then we can get in here, and then as soon as when the time comes where we finish up over here, we're making money here for the Airbnb to then be paying for our main house over here. So it's just another stream of income, which then would be paying for our house.
Right. Something we prayed heavily about, and something that we asked for insight and guidance on. And I've prayed day in, day out that we make the right decision, and that God guides us the right decision, down the right path to make the right decision for our family and for our future. And I think financially this just makes more sense. I know we've invested so much equity into the initial lot here, but it's
not that we're not going to not do that.
Right,
that
no,
too.
100%.
Like, that's still the goal. This is just a smarter step to fit in between before we get here to then go into this one.
And it's kind of like Kelly discussed in the beginning too. We have 3 building sites on this property. We built the 3rd lot for my father, who, unfortunately is no longer with us. But if we didn't do that in the beginning, I don't think we would have had the time. I just don't think we would have done it. It would have always been a goal, but I don't know if it would have been something we got to. We would have seen
the vision like we have now.
Right. Well, I mean, we had the vision in the beginning of what it could be, but that was the main reason to get us to start here.
Yeah.
And this little lot across the road, it was covered with trees. We didn't even really know we had it until a few months into this, where we're like, oh, we own this across the street too. I mean, we knew we owned it, but I hiked in there.
Big enough
it literally looked like a little row of trees right across the road. We're like, okay, cool. And then I actually started peeking through the trees and walking around and finding the property lines. And that whole lot across the road with the length and the width ends up being about 1.1 acres. So I'm like, it's not the deepest, but I mean, it's pretty long. So I mean, there's an acre of land right there, and we sat down and we said, let's use everything we got. And I think we're in the situation now where let's do this first. Let's build something here. Let's document the progress, move forward, and really just showcase everything that we want to do on this property, and
help you guys if you may be in a similar situation, because we didn't have someone ahead of us telling us, well, make sure you know this and do that. And so we kind of wanted to be that too for others that might be. And also just like, we are a faith-filled family. We're very homebody. We want to have a little homestead, and this is just a really great way to document. Like we said, we're going to do the Airbnb. We're going to have our house. We want to do something in the back for our business. We want to do a whole disc golf course on our property, some chickens, get some farm animals. We want to have gardens, and we just have
trails for riding, tracks throughout here. I mean, and I think for us, we're a family of 4 now, right? So we've got myself and Kelly, and we've got 2 daughters, one 3 months old, the other 4 years old. So
And we got a little cutie boy.
and we got a
Or
little Frenchie that you'll see
Mm-hmm.
running around in and out. And I think, like Kelly said, we're very home-bodied, faith-filled individuals. We don't go out and do much, and our family, and I think a lot can attest to that, our family is the most important thing for us, you know, and to be able to have a piece of land where we can be together, we can be a family, we can grow together and create something amazing and spend that time with each other was the goal of buying a piece of land this big. It was never, we need the biggest piece of land, we need the biggest house.
No.
It wasn't, it's not about that for us. It's about building something that's safe, that's strong, that's going to hold investment, that's going to allow us to cherish our time
To
with each
host
other,
people.
to host family, to just enjoy life together and the beautiful thing of nature. And we bought 28 acres in a forest, and we've had to develop throughout the forest and all the elevations that it throws at you. And I think this stuff is not anything anybody teaches you. It's nothing, I mean, unless you go to school for things like this, but I mean, it's something we've had to learn on our own. And it's, you know, I think it's so important, and just to kind of see where we're at and what we're doing and what we plan on doing, that was our mission. And we're thankful for anybody that feels the need or the want to tune in and watch, and we're excited to kind of see where things can go from here and just show everybody from start to finish what we want to do.
Yep.
So, you know,
So if you want to be along the journey, hit subscribe. And we don't really know how often we'll post, just because once things really start kicking up, and especially once we're here, we're gonna have so many more projects that we'll be doing on the property. So
well, and we got a lot of footage and pictures and things that I've taken throughout the year and a half or so of us starting
Yeah.
this. And it's easy to watch a video and go, like those videos, that's what, a 1 hour time-lapse home build from start to
Yeah.
finish. We will be able to do one of those eventually, but for the time being, like, we have a bunch of clips of dirt being pushed, trees dropping, I mean, there's so many cool little things that we have footage of that's kind of spaced out, that might be
we
from,
can backtrack a little.
yeah, things will be backtracked, things will be scrambled, but I think everything will have a goal and everything will have a vision. And it might be a little confusing in the beginning until we get everything situated, but I think that's all part of it. We didn't ever really intended on doing this until we started hitting so many roadblocks that we're like, man, I wish there was an honest individual that wasn't afraid to say, I made this mistake, or this is
Yeah.
what you need to do, without paying me or without having to pay them to learn how to do these things. We just want a platform like that. And
It's not really there, so we're doing it.
it's not really there, so and I'm sure, I mean, we're on YouTube, so I'm sure it's somewhere, but this is just our addition into that. So I'm blessed. We're very blessed to be where we're at, to be doing these things that we're doing, and it's something we give thanks for every single day, and we'll continue to give thanks for. And I don't know, I'm fortunate for my family. I'm very blessed to have a family and to be doing what we're doing, and just keep tuning in.
Love you. Well, guys, thanks for watching, and we don't know when we'll post again, but it'll be soon.